It's only days before Christmas, and the Christmas vibes are through the roof right now. Or maybe they're on the roof, attached to a sleigh with reindeer. As Santa Claus prepares to deliver presents around the world, apparently he's also got some problems in the North Pole. Or at least, that's what the Sega Genesis game Daze Before Christmas says. The toys have all gone on strike, the elves have been wrapped up in presents and trapped, and the penguins are throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. I've got to admit, I hadn't heard about Daze Before Christmas until this year when I discovered it for the Sega Genesis. And is it ever a weird game? Even after finishing the entire game, I'm still trying to figure out what I exactly think about it. Did I have fun playing this game? Did it get me into the Christmas spirit? Or should it stay with the ghosts of Christmas past? In Days Before Christmas, you play as Santa, trying to set everything right at the North Pole, all while delivering presents around the world, fighting off evil snowmen, pocket watches, and the final boss of the game, but we'll save that surprise for later. You can jump and throw a magic swirl at enemies coming your way to turn them into presents? Or are they just being wrapped up as presents and then being delivered to children around the world? Does Santa actually deliver spiders, mice, evil race cars, and bats to kids? Or are they transformed into something good inside the present? Basically, I have a lot of questions about this game. A lot of questions. Throughout the levels, you are searching for 3 kinds of presents to add to your score. Blue presents, red presents, and yellow presents. The yellow presents always contain something good, like an extra life, a Santa hat, which counts as an extra hit point in this game, or a captured elf. The red presents contain a mix of good and bad, sometimes popping open to reveal an enemy coming right at you. The blue presents are the ones the enemies are transformed into that you can pick up and add to your score. Most levels have a lot of exploring to do, and they allow you to choose a bit of the direction you want to head in. Some levels, like the ones out in the snow, are more straightforward, but even those have quite a few hidden secrets here and there. In the cave levels, you can even find some of Santa's reindeer hidden behind walls of ice that you can only melt once you find a little box of electricity to turn your magic into fire magic. The other really strange addition to this game is that when you drink what looks like a cup of coffee, apparently Santa turns into Krampus? Or, as the game calls it, Anti-Claus? Which is just so random. I'm trying to figure out, are they trying to send a message about coffee? Or are they trying to tell you to watch out because Krampus is real? I really don't know. I'm gonna call him Krampus, and as Krampus, you become invincible. However, you can't open any presents or collect any bonuses that aren't already out of a present. Sometimes this is super helpful when you need to speed through a level because the water is rising, and if you don't hurry, you will fall into the water and be done for. There are quite the mix of levels here. There's 24 of them naturally, and some take place inside houses or workshops, while others are in factory settings and still others are out in the Arctic snow. You also have 4 levels that switch up the gameplay by putting you in Santa's sleigh, where you control the sleigh and can drop presents. You have to aim for the smoking chimneys to drop the presents, all while avoiding various flying objects like footballs, kites, rocket ships, and hot air balloons. There are also 4 bosses in the game. The evil snowman, who throws large snowballs at Santa and tries to knock you back into icy water. The timekeeper, who rolls down a half pipe while throwing gears at Santa. The mouse, who swings a baseball bat at Santa. And then the final boss of the game, the weather. Yes, the final boss of this game is the weather. I mean, I guess it makes sense, seeing as there's that whole Rudolph situation with the snowstorm and everything, but sentient weather is the final boss of a game about Santa Claus. So, not sure I really need to do the Christmassy breakdown here. Obviously, this game was made all around Christmas. From start to finish, the game is Christmas. From Santa to elves to presents to sentient weather, it's all about Christmas. Even Krampus is in here, which is like an anti-Christmas thing, right? So even the greater mythology of Santa Claus creeps into this game. So yeah, I'm giving this game a 100% on the Christmassy meter. But is it worth playing? Well, that is a great question. The game was ported to the Super Nintendo as well as being on the Sega Genesis, and it's actually not too expensive as of this recording to purchase the cartridge. Here's my verdict. If you are into all things Christmas and enjoy a fun Sega Genesis platformer with fairly decent graphics and not too bad gameplay like I do, then this is a fun one to track down and play. The game is beatable in about an hour, and I could see you pulling this game out to play during the Christmas season. There are 3 difficulty settings to change up the game a bit, so there's a little bit of replayability. If you're searching for every present and secret, there's also that adds to it. This time through, I was only able to free 1 of the reindeer, so there's a lot more I could have done. And so, if battling sentient weather, clocks that can keep up with Tony Hawk, and giant mice that swing baseball bats, then Daze Before Christmas is a definite playthrough for you. This might seem like the most Christmassy game so far on this list. Yes, there are 2 others, however, that I believe may surpass its Christmassiness, or at least tie with it. So the next time that sentient weather comes after you, don't forget, Santa Claus is just a swirl of magic away.